Hi, my name's David Sweet, founder and CEO of FocusCore, and I'm here with the wonderful and talented Helen Iwata from Sasuga Communications. Welcome, Helen.
Thank you, David.
So, give us kind of a brief introduction to you, and you have a wonderful background in McKinsey, and started up your company over 12 years.
12 years. Yep.
So, tell us kind of your path to get there.
Path to starting my company with. So when I joined McKinsey, I started in the communications team. I was a translator and editor, and then within just a few months, I was managing the communications team. So it was really not a sort of chosen path, but I fell into communications.
Yeah.
And in terms of coaching leaders, the people who were in front of me were leaders. So I naturally started coaching them. And I became very passionate about communication and leadership. So when I left McKinsey, I started my own business the next day, and it was the natural path for me to go into that communication and leadership coaching and training field.
So we do a lot of recruitment. What for communicating and cross-cultural communication for hiring, and what are some things that you see that companies are really missing?
What are they missing in terms of cross-cultural communication?
Yeah, when they're trying to attract.
So I'm going to ask you some qualifying questions. So in terms, it depends. Is this foreign companies hiring Japanese people? Is very often I would say that they underestimate the differences in communication in Japan compared with many other companies. An example that I love to give for this one is when I was interpreting for, when I was working with Nippon Steel Trading. So I was interpreting for the coal suppliers from Australia and the Japanese buyers here. And I remember one conversation where at the end of the conversation, the Australian suppliers, well, that seemed to go really well, didn't it? It was great. And I was like, oh, how did you pick that up? He's like, well, he kept saying yes to everything. He seemed very agreeable. And I was like, unfortunately, that's not exactly what it means, because part of the communication style in Japan is that there's a lot of kind of agreement. You don't want to disappoint people. So that alone can lead to so many miscommunications and misunderstandings.
Okay. Yeah, it's the old saying in Japan, yes means maybe, maybe means no, and if they say no, you're not dealing with someone who's Japanese.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so that leads to the challenges, especially among Japanese, of underselling themselves in interviews. Yeah. You speak to a Westerner and they're like, oh yeah, I've had this project and I kick ass and took names. But then you speak to someone who's Japanese and it's, well, yeah, it's part of a team and we completed the project on time, right? Same outcomes, but yeah.
It's very interesting because there's also research on the statistics of how when men, and I'm sure you're familiar with this, when men are applying for a job and women are applying for a job, and when men think, I can do that about 60%, then I'm okay to apply for the job. But for women, it's like, I have to be convinced I can do 99% of the job or even more before I'll apply for it. So it's a similar sort of thing. And I agree with you that it seems to show up in Japan with men as well.
Yeah.
So there's been just so super, super humble. And I think humility is such it's so valued here. And that is a great thing. And one thing as well is to, sometimes my Japanese clients will be concerned about being assertive because they don't want to lose their humility.
Yeah, I get that. It's I speak to companies where a candidate will go in and the company will say, we're number one at this. We've been around for umpteen years, and we're very good at that. Whereas the Japanese will have been around longer.
Yeah.
And and they'll really, we haven't been around very long.
Yeah.
200 years of history, we're still learning.
Yeah.
And it's always a challenge to.
Yeah.
And I think that's important when for companies that are interviewing candidates, for example, to make sure that they're explaining properly to match that coding.
Yeah, it's that two-way thing. Is for non-Japanese companies coming into Japan to be aware that there is going to be massive humility. Like, I mean, you know, when someone gives you a gift in Japan, it's like "sumaranai mono desu."
Yeah.
It's a boring thing, and it's like beautiful, amazing thing. It's so ingrained in Japanese culture, and so for those companies to be aware of that, and you know, take it with what they say, take it with a massive grain of salt, because what they're doing is probably much more impressive. And then for the candidates, the Japanese candidates, like, remember, it may be uncomfortable. It is going to help you to say more about, you know, and build it up more. And it's not, there's nothing wrong with it. It's so that people can truly understand what you are capable of. And that's it's something about, it's like stepping out of your comfort zone, right? It's normal that if that's something that you haven't done in the past, it's going to feel hard. So I definitely recommend that's a situation where you can ask for support and practice, build evidence for yourself that it's okay to say something that's even a little bit more than what you would normally say, and see how people react to that, and you'll find it's okay. And then you can do it a little bit more, and then you can talk with more pride and keeping the humility.
That's great. So you must do a lot of coaching and communication coaching around storytelling, especially if you're going into an interview situation, and how to tell a story properly to really build up one's credibility for that, right?
So people talk so much about storytelling these days, and I feel like people get into overthinking about it, because like human beings, we've been telling stories for, you know, from primitive times, and so it's just more of, the way I see it, it's more of a reminder that it's valuable to tell stories in communication settings, whether it's in an interview, whether it's in a presentation, because that is the natural way that humans communicate to each other. And our brains are wired to pay attention. And if you are thinking, oh, have I got this storytelling framework right? Am I doing it in exactly the right way? Then you're going to be unnatural in the way you're telling it, and that just loses the whole impact.
I try to coach people to at least have the stories ready.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is have an idea of experiences that you've had. And I have a story ready.
Go ahead.
Because I distinctly remember one of the trainings that I was receiving in the corporate days. I was a participant, and I was absolutely amazed by the trainer that she seemed to have a story for everything. And I was just like, wow, I have no stories. And fine, because I was pretty junior at the time. But then I realized that as I gained experience, oh, there's a story. And now the stories I'm always picking up something that's a story. And I noticed that there are some stories that I just keep telling again and again. And it's not necessarily in that I've got to think of a very rigid way of telling the story. It's like I'm talking to a friend, like, oh, do you know what happened the other day? This. It's like that. Yeah.
Going back to, we were talking about not having all the skill sets and applying for jobs, and I see that a lot where you know, someone might not have, they'll be 10 points behind on a TOEIC score, and so they're not going to apply for a job, which I've had lots of candidates say. But we have a lot of companies that they're okay. They obviously want to hire people, and they want a diverse background of people. What would you explain to people that are trying to apply for jobs and they're fearful that they don't meet all the requirements, but to dive ahead anyway?
Part of it is to what extent do they not meet them? I think that, you know, there may be cases where, yeah, definitely, like, you know, if it's something that requires driving, then you're not able to drive, but that's clearly not. But there is so much where it's important for the employer to have somebody who has that willingness to learn and is an adaptable person. That is far more important than certain skills and things that you might have or not learned so far. Because if you can learn, if you are willing to learn, if you're enthusiastic about learning, then it's not an issue.
Yeah, having that openness goes a long way.
Yeah, and this is also an issue that I see as well with particularly Japanese clients, and particularly the women, is that they are very scared of going into a new position and not knowing everything about the company. And I cannot tell you how many times I've heard this when I'm coaching those women who've just gone into a new position. And they're like, oh, I'm so struggling so much because I just don't know everything about the company. I'm like, it's okay. If your employers are expecting you to know every single thing, that is totally unreasonable.
Yeah.
And just, you've been hired because of the experience that you have and the type of person that you are. So, recognize that. And gradually, as you're going through your day-to-day, learn and ask. So I come back to this so many times, asking for help. That's one thing as well, where so many, I do believe women, maybe men to a certain extent, but women in Japan especially really hesitate to ask for help.
Why is that?
Because I would say a lot of it is upbringing and being encouraged as girls that you've got to deal with it, and the gammon concept of put up with the situation. So it's you're expected, as women were very much from primitive times, women are the caretakers, and so we are expected to be looking after everybody else and not the ones asking for help.
Yeah, I think just to highlight the gammon and being able is a huge idea in Japan, that we're taught at a very young age that you need to wait, and it's important to wait and just put up with it.
Yeah, and don't inconvenience other people. And so asking can be considered as inconveniencing people. But actually, so often that's not the case. People love to be able to help. Yeah. Right? There's something that's really, feel good about that.
I'll speak to headquarters or APAC leaders who are dealing with Japan, and they are usually hearing on the other end of the video call silence, which is distressing, or yes, agreement. And instead of the asking, and so that's an important part to highlight.
Oh, it's so true. Another story that immediately comes to mind from many years ago. So an American senior leader and a Japanese team, and the American senior leader came to me one day and he's like, Helen, I just don't understand it. I ask them, I tell them what needs to be done. And they come back to me 2 weeks later and it's something completely different. Yeah. And I'm like, interesting. So were you asking for clarification to see if they understood? Well, no, they were just saying yes. So I was like, well, that's what they do. So it's a two-way thing. The American senior leader needs to check in a very open way to make sure that they understand, and not just, do you understand, because they'll say yes. Yep. And then the Japanese team, they need to understand that it's important for them to ask for clarification.
So let's switch gears a little bit. And one of the hot topics, especially for companies hiring board leaders, is hiring female leadership. And there's a huge demand for female leadership on boards. And the challenge is there just isn't the volume of female leaders being brought up.
Yeah.
So let's talk first about kind of that middle management of female leadership and how to first retain those leadership, because I see a lot of very talented individuals not being promoted, so they move.
Yeah.
And how to really retain these quality people so that organically a company can move these people up to leadership positions.
So what are you hearing in those situations for what would they want? What is it that they're lacking that you've heard?
It's a great question. I think there's a few things. One, there's the lack of communication on both parties.
Yeah.
So there's the silence, acceptance. If I've not been promoted and I haven't asked, then I'm not going to be promoted.
Right.
So first, there's that side of the equation.
Yeah.
The second side is just they have someone doing their job, and if they develop someone into doing more, then they have to backfill, and there's a shortage of people, and so there's a quandary there. Third is, okay, can we hire someone outside and bring them in that can hit the ground running? We don't have to train them up. And oftentimes they'll do that instead.
I mean, so one of the things that comes to mind there is that, again, the asking. And so one of the Japanese female clients I've been coaching recently, I'm coaching her to, or she decided that she wanted to start asking more. And she's asked for a promotion recently. And she is going to be talking with the senior colleagues in her company to find out what is their view of her being promoted, what gaps do they see, and how can she fill those gaps.
When companies are considering and trying to attract female talent, what should they consider that they might look at differently than hiring a male counterpart? Because I know even from a recruiter point of view, sometimes companies will even offer a recruitment fee that's higher,
right?
Because it's a specific type of person they're looking for. And I'll give you a story. I have one company that wanted a sales director, and they needed to hire a woman because that's what Europe said. And there just weren't sales directors because there weren't the sales staff, junior salespeople tended to be male or female, but the women tended to either leave and went into homemaking, or they'd go into marketing. And traditionally, because they just didn't want to go out drinking and have to do all those things with the wholesale, and so there just wasn't the pool to pull from.
Yeah.
And that was a challenge. So how do you bring those people and entice people in?
Yeah. I mean, it really does go back to for the companies who want to bring up more women into senior positions or into board positions, is the communication. It's understanding what is missing for them, or what is difficult for them. And there are so many challenges for women moving into leadership because of the taking care of children, taking care of aging parents, perimenopause, menopause, all of the things are coming at that time when they're at the age of going into leadership. Plus all of the challenges in society of it's not normal to ask for help. And it's very difficult to move up if you are not asking for help.
I've noticed, I do a lot of work with older candidates, senior candidates that are moving into maybe interim jobs. And I see among women that Showa women that they kind of chose early in their career to be professional and single, or held back and were parents. And now, refreshingly, I see that changing, where companies are much more accommodating and open, but there still seems to be a discrepancy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How do you see it?
I mean, absolutely. There is that. And then there is the situation of women who are going into quite senior positions and then just getting to the stage of like, actually, no, this is not worth it. Because the way things are, I'm having to miss so much time with my family. I know a number of women who have left very senior positions to spend time with family.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And gratefully, we see some men too.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting. And that's a change. I think it's different. It's new for Japan, probably Western counterparts, a little bit different where there's been more flexibility and openness about that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What, in your mind, can companies do to really attract women then?
So to show that they are understanding of those challenges, like if I think back to corporate days and when I had a young child, just something like, she was in nursery and the pickup time at nursery was 6:30. So I had to leave the office at 5:30. My boss, jokingly, kind of, called me an extremist because I would leave at 5:30 and everyone's there until much later, of course. And if I was like 1 minute late, the nursery staff would reprimand me. And like just how difficult it is if you've got a call at 5:25, or I mean, we don't use the phone as much these days, I suppose, but if you've got like somebody's come to you and you're in a meeting that's gone over or something like that, it's so hard to say, oh, I'm sorry, I've got to go and pick up my daughter. Like some people are understanding, a lot are not, and it comes back to that asking or speaking up for what you need is really, really challenging. So if women are able to know that it is a space where they don't have to feel like embarrassed or that they're inconveniencing people, and the other one, the classic, you get the call from nursery or school, your child has a fever, can you come and pick them up immediately? Yeah. But that happened my first day at McKinsey. Oh, I was mortified. I got the phone call and I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. This is my first day. What are my colleagues going to think? Fortunately, they were very understanding. But, that sort of thing happens so much.
And they wouldn't contemplate calling your husband?
It's like, it always seems to be the mother.
Yeah.
And in some cases, they'll go to the father, but yeah.
When you're coaching people for leadership positions, what are the hot spots that you're seeing now that people are really wanting to work on when they're looking to move up in their career?
I'm going to go, let's see, with women maybe. I don't know, because there's so many. So I'm just like, what is the key? Part of it is that they're doing it all, and how to. Have you read the book Essentialism? Oh, I very much recommend it. So
who's it by?
It's by Greg McKeown.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic book, and it's really about what is most essential in your job. Because so many of us, we end, and especially when you've got more experience, there's so many things you can do. So you start doing a lot more than you need to do. And as you get into leadership positions, essentialism becomes essential because you simply can't do it all. So that's an area that I am often coaching in, is making sure that people are doing what really is needed, so that part of it is so that they have the time and energy to do that and to have a positive impact in what they're doing. But part of it is also the delegation and giving the opportunities to the more junior members to come up. And I'm reflecting on what we talked about earlier about the middle managers, or that group who are often sort of left out a little bit. Being able to delegate more to them, give them more opportunities, let them have that sense of ownership, and that's going to then help them to build the confidence and the skills to be the future leaders.
That's great. When I'm coaching mid-management, they're oftentimes very good at protecting their staff.
Oh, yes.
And taking on more. And when I do 360s and I talk to the teams and to their management, the number one complaint is that manager is doing too much. It needs to delegate.
Exactly.
And the staff want to learn.
Exactly.
And to be able to see what you do, which is wonderful, teaching impact. And how can you have more impact? One is just teach them how to do what you're doing and then mentor them to do that.
Yeah, it is less effort, more impact, because the leaders are just putting in so much effort, like that physical, mental, and emotional effort and time. They could actually do less and have their teams do more.
But isn't that kind of like the old 80-20 rule where we used to plan and go, okay, what's 20% is going to give me my...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're just going back to what was working before, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. Let's talk about recruitment.
Oh, you know a little bit about...
No. What do you think about recruitment in Japan?
Oh my goodness! Well, that's quite a question.
Leading question.
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
And I have not been paid to say this. Honestly, absolutely honestly, I really feel that if people are looking for jobs, and for companies who are looking for great candidates, honestly, to come and speak to a specialist like you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because you know, we've talked a little bit about those kind of cultural misunderstandings, communication misunderstandings, and you're someone who's like in the center of that, and you know how to interpret both ways. Yeah.
I have one client he's got a very strong accent.
Ooh.
I have trouble understanding his accent, and then a Japanese person goes in and starts listening to him, and I say, it's okay to say, I didn't understand, can you repeat, or you give an example?
Yes.
But I have to make sure that my Japanese candidates also know that it's not them, it's okay.
That is huge, actually, because so often when the Japanese person doesn't understand the English, they totally put the blame on themselves, and it's not, because it could be that they have an accent that is difficult even for native speakers of English to understand, and it could be just that they're really not speaking clearly, and it's like, what is that? So yeah, definitely, it's totally valid to ask a question, or do the paraphrasing technique where you basically say back, if I understand correctly, this is what you're asking.
Yeah. So we talked about what makes a good recruiter for a candidate, getting someone experienced that knows the market, that knows themselves, that can help a candidate along.
Yeah.
Or companies, what do you think the companies need to be looking for when they engage in a relationship with an external recruiter?
With a recruiter is a company that has the track record, the experience. I mean, it's huge, right? Because you've seen so many different scenarios, you've seen what might work, what might not work well, and that all then goes to increase your success rates and speed up your success as well. And it's just so difficult to find people who are really great for the position. Yeah,
that's why you need to hire a recruiter. But one of the challenges I find is that companies easily go to a recruiter, but haven't done what they can do, especially a small company. They haven't put a job on their own website.
Right.
They haven't prepared a job description. They haven't thought through how to communicate to a candidate when they do have someone. They haven't asked their own staff. There's so many free or low barrier ways to recruit.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy to go on LinkedIn. Most of these candidates aren't on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And then the next step is go to a recruiter who's very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And never sure where they'll get get hires on that, which I always find interesting.
Yeah. And one thing that I've found very useful for recruiting on that kind of small scale is when you do the job description and the application process, you put something in there that quickly weeds out people who are not paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that way, because just for one of the positions that I was hiring for, we had 300 applicants, and 10 followed the instructions, and I only interviewed 2 of them because it's like, yeah, isn't it?
It keeps it easier to do that.
Yeah.
How did you get 300 applicants? I think people would like to know how.
Okay, so that was a particular type of position, and it was for a virtual assistant. So I was looking for. I used the what's it called? Online Jobs Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you can put in your job description in there, and you can get 300 applicants.
Brilliant. So we were talking earlier about making more impact.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways that you can do that, is to get an assistant and have someone replace what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's for very small businesses. That's really an easy way to. There's a less effort, more impact. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And don't have any other questions, really. Do you have any questions? Totally went blank. Yeah.
What do you enjoy most about your work?
Always the easy answer is the variety, but I think it's the variety of helping companies really understand the market and then guide them in a way that they can be successful. Because it is difficult in Japan to hire, and we keep on repeating that. But it's possible if companies take the right processes and do things in the right way. It's very easy. It's easier than they make out to be, and I love going in and helping companies do that. I always find that exciting. Yeah, it's exciting, and that's being a consultant versus being a recruiter to me.
Right. Yeah. Because do you see yourself that you do both of those things?
I consider what we do at FocusCore as consulting, and we do recruitment to fulfill what the client is looking for.
Yeah. And what changes have you seen recently in the recruiting?
Oh, that's a great question. Interesting things around AI, of course. That's always an easy one, right? Because that can take away so much administration.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting about that is the people that don't embrace AI,
right,
and aren't using it. And it's not a matter. I feel like people have to use it, or at least know how to use it. It's like Excel. It's not going away. You don't need to use all of Excel, but you do need to know how that tool can be of assistance to you, right? And I think the companies that will be doing more and more with AI will be able to move faster around being able to bring in talent. And I think that's exciting, because then it leaves boutiques like us free to do the people portion of the job, which I think that's not getting replaced.
Exactly. So yeah, when I think about changes in my business landscape, as a coach, the introduction of AI, to me, there's so much that's fantastic about that, and I believe that it's great because human communication now has become more valuable, because you're not going to be able to differentiate yourself in terms of what you write, or the knowledge that's at your fingertips, or how fast you do things. Actually, it's like when we have a human-to-human conversation, are you making a good impression? Are you able to build trust?
That's brilliant. I know, like in recruitment now, still love post-COVID, a lot of our interviews are still online. Now that can be recorded, and so the notes are all taken for me. Now I can pay attention and just listen. I don't and think through clarifying questions and really dig deeper into people's needs instead of being able to write notes and worrying about that, which, it's being able to communicate better is a huge portion of AI that we don't really talk about.
Right, yeah.
It's exciting. I had a company, and we're guiding the company to hire a senior manager. And we're in with the HR and the president of the company. They're both foreigners, by the way, so this is not a Japanese tale.
Right.
And the company's retirement age is 65, which is still kind of a rarity in Japan. And I said, so they were looking at this candidate, and the HR person said, well, this person's quite senior. And the president smartly said, what do you mean by that? Are they old, too old for the position, or are they too experienced?
Yeah.
And he said, well, he's kind of old. He's 59. This was HR, which made me cringe. But I said, how long did the last employee stay? And he said, well, 3 years. I said, this guy's 59. He doesn't have to retire till 65. Yeah. He can hit the ground running.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you not take a look at him and bring him in to take over the job?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So often companies now are, switching to contracts, lowering the salary. And my hand on heart belief is that companies don't change to 65 retirement age because it's a good way to get rid of people that are too expensive. And it just forces them to hire more junior people up.
Very much relates to what we're talking about in terms of the of AI and the importance of those communication skills. So the very big area of presentation skills. I had a conversation just yesterday where somebody asked me, do you mean business presentations? Do you mean public speaking? And in my mind, presentation skills is all of that, because it's, are you able to confidently communicate in a clear and engaging way, whether you're speaking at an industry conference, or whether you're talking with your team or at a town hall meeting, or even with some of your senior colleagues in a small room. It's all presentation skills. So that's an area that I'm now focusing on more. And this is very new information, especially for
nice.
hot off the presses. It's actually so hot, it's actually not even on the presses yet.
It'll be there. You've heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. So focusing on presentation skills specifically for women.
Nice.
Because it occurred to me that in the public area, I don't know of anything that's offered that's specifically for women in Japan. And I have worked with a number of global companies over the years where we run programs that have been specifically for women for presentation skills. But there is, because of some of the sensitivities around DEI, some of the companies are not offering those now. And so there are not the opportunities in-house for women. And by offering something that's to the public, women of different companies can come together.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, yeah. And there they can learn in a really safe and supportive environment the communication and presentation skills.
What are some of the key things that you focus on for successful presentation skills? So
first of all, it's normalizing the fact that it's a scary thing to give presentations. And that's like normal for human beings. And it's even more challenging, I would say, from the Japanese female perspective. There's the Japanese culture, there's the female culture. And then when you're doing it in your non-native language, it is extremely difficult. So just normalizing the difficulty helps. And for women to be in a small group and recognizing that they're not the only one is really, really powerful. And then focusing on real practical skills. It's not the theory. So we'll have 90-minute online small group sessions where it's practice, and they do the learning outside that. And so I've already run a couple of pilot programs of just doing just doing a 1 hour with the women are like amazed at the transformation in just 1 hour.
That's fantastic.
Because they do video at the beginning, video themselves at the beginning, and video at the end. Completely different.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Practice, it's like any skill set, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I always remember with Toastmasters.
Yes.
And they said...
did you go to Toastmasters?
Yeah, I was president of our club in Orlando at one point.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the thing was not that you can't get rid of the butterflies. You can get the butterflies flying in the same direction, which I always thought was a nice image for public speaking, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and you know what? I really do feel that in some cases, I don't feel the butterflies now.
Yeah.
And that's having come a long, long way, because and people they see me when I'm speaking now and they're like, oh, you're so comfortable and confident and doing this. And it was not always that way. When I remember one situation when I first stood up in a group to speak, and then I was like, oh, I don't think I can do this. I was absolutely mortified. Yeah.
That's brilliant. One of the key aspects when I talk to candidates who are getting ready to interview, so it's just a different type of presentation.
Exactly.
Is record themselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
If they do nothing else, just to watch themselves, that will change their public presentation.
You don't realize what you're doing when you're speaking. Oh, one guy who was presenting at an event some years ago, he's talking and his cuff link was undone.
Okay.
And as he's talking, he's like going like this, and he's talking and talking and talking, and he's totally unconsciously attempting to fasten this. I could not concentrate on what he was saying at all, because I'm like, is he going to get it? Is he going to do it? Is he going to manage? He's going to... But yeah, I see that so often that people just don't realize these little things. Like, I've just been through a whole huge engagement with one of my corporate clients where I'm coaching their speakers for their regional conference every year. And again, I have them video themselves. And one guy, and he's talking and he just holds onto his finger like this. And he has no idea that he's just got this very strange habit of just holding onto one finger like this as he's talking. And then I'm like, look at the video. And he's like, oh, what?
And that helps.
Yeah, but as you say, that is something that you can do yourself, and you can pick up on some of that yourself. Yeah. And then you can also get support from someone with experience.
Well, if you have coaching with that and other people that are helping you, then you can start building that out, which is so important, right?
Yeah.
And then for the program, how can people get involved and contact you for that?
Well, this is so early stages that we don't even have that all up there. However, and depending on when people are seeing this, maybe it will all be ready and out there.
Put it out there.
But right now, contact me on LinkedIn or info@SasugaCommunications.com.
Because you've done a lot of these presentations recently and seen those online and seen people, and they're very effective. So it's super.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Helen, for joining today. I've learned so much. It's always a joy to speak with you. We did our podcast last year, which is so much fun. This is even more fun to be in person.
Yeah, it's great to be in person. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for asking me, and I really hope that this was valuable.
Thank you.